Welcome to week 12 of Praises and Paper Folding from First Presbyterian Church in Carson City, Nevada. I'm Sherry Chenin. I'm the Family Ministry Coordinator here. I hope you'll have a lot of fun joining us today as we fold a chameleon. Praises and Paper Folding is a 16-week video series where we will be learning origami while creating Noah's Ark. Working with many people, we're going to fold Noah, 12 animals, the Ark, and at the very end we want to bring everybody together who's been folding with us to create a humongous rainbow. After that, we're going to ask everybody who has completed a Noah's Ark at home to bring it to the church to display for everyone to enjoy. Hi there.
Hi.
Welcome to Praises and Paper Folding.
Thank you.
This is my friend, Lynn Weaver, and we met through church, but she spent a good handful of years when I was still teaching, coming into my classroom and helping out there, and so we've had a friendship from that and just always enjoyed her, so I'm just glad to have you. Yeah. Would you like to tell us just a little bit about yourself?
Well, I've been married for 56 years.
That's
and
incredible.
We have 3 kids and their families, so we have 8 grandchildren. And I've taught or helped teach for most of my adult life, working with kids from about 2 up through middle school.
All right, so it's really a passion.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was the only thing that I wanted to do when I was growing up.
Well, I know that my students always loved having you in there, as well as I did, but they were excited to see you every week and sad when you couldn't make it. So.
Well, and I was sad at the end of the year when I wouldn't see them again.
Some years I was sad and others not so much. Anyway, so today we're going to be making a chameleon. And what I've done here, as I made my first chameleon, I realized this isn't a model that can just sit. And chameleons you usually see in trees or on branches. And so I sort of put this together. I needed something to set it in so it would stay up. And I think this works, but we now have this chameleon right here sitting on the branch like he would in the wild. So we're going to be doing that. So if you're thinking about what supplies it is that you need, we have a few more twigs here. So if you happen to have a twig, I mean, I know fall's coming along and all that, might be easy to find something on the ground. Of course, your color crayons, we're going to talk about that in just a second. You know, crayons, markers, pencils, whatever it is that you've got. And I did use a little bit of tape to tape him onto the branch. So those are the things that we're going to be using today as we make our chameleon. In the last few weeks, I have not been coloring the paper. I've been leaving it blank, but this is a chameleon that we're making, and they're known for their bright, vibrant colors. So I thought we should have some fun. So what we did this time was we pre-colored our paper. We just sat here and had a little fun coloring. So here's my paper, and I'll get a close-up on your paper too. Just let me see that for a second. Here's Lynn's paper. So lots of fun. Might be something you might want to consider doing is just pre-coloring it. Obviously, don't have to, whatever, but here's the paper, and it'll be easy to tell the front from the back. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to turn it to the back side, and we're going to start by making some valley folds. And recently we've been making a lot of valley folds that are the diagonal corner to corner ones. We're not doing that today. Today we're going to make valley folds that will make 4 small squares. So that's what we're going to start with, is just folding it in half one way and then the other way. And okay. There's my 4 squares. You're being very precise. Yeah, it'll definitely turn out better that way. Okay, so now we have our four valley folds, but we're going to open that up. And then what we're going to do is we're going to fold this edge into the center and this edge into the center. So right on that line, match the edge up with the center valley fold. Okay, ooh, it looks really pretty. Got it? Okay. Now we're going to do the same thing on the two sides. We're going to fold this edge into the center. Now it's a mountain fold here. We're going to fold this into the middle, and we're going to fold this also into the middle. I'm going to turn it this way because it doesn't really matter. You don't have to leave it in one direction to fold it. You turn it in the direction that makes it easiest for you to fold. We just made a smaller square. Now the only difference with this is once we've folded it, we're going to go ahead and unfold it. We just created a new crease there. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we have these four squares. There's one here and one here and two more on this side. We're going to take this corner of this square and fold it into this corner right here. So we're making some more valley folds. We're going to do one and all four of them. Two, three, and four. And that's steps 1 through 3 right there. How are you doing? Very
Just
good.
about done.
Yeah. Very nice. I like how pretty, you never know what it's going to end up looking like when you first put it together.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what it's going to end up being in the end, where all the colors will come out and everything. So, since you have just enjoyed teaching and being with kids your whole life, and we've been talking a lot about faith, I'd like to know, how would you explain faith to a child?
I think I would also use the word trust,
Okay.
because they understand what it is to trust their parent or someone who says, we will do this, and when they do it, they are learning trust. And I think that for kids, that word could be almost synonymous. To have faith in something would mean to be able to trust.
That's a very valid point. That's coming from years of teaching myself. You have to think, how can I put this in terms a child could understand? And I think faith can almost be above our understanding at times.
Well, it's a pretty abstract word,
right.
but
They do understand trust. If they've grown up in a trusting household with loving parents and good teachers and all of that, they know that they can trust them.
right.
They intrinsically feel that. And so being able to connect faith to trust kind of gives them that link to understanding.
I think so.
The next couple folds we're going to do, they're not overly difficult, but you kind of have to think about them just a little bit. And so I've moved everything that was here just in case you wanted to see my hands and what I was doing. And right now, everything that we're doing, we're folding 4 times over. At the beginning, this chameleon is the same on both ends until right towards the end of it. So just know we're going to do everything 4 times. I will show that so that you can follow along on the big screen here with the hands. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do 4 squash folds. And I like squash folds because I like the word and I like the thought of squashing, and that's what you're doing. So what we're going to do is we folded this over like this, and if we open that up and we have that square, we have this line right here where the square was that we first formed, and we have this valley line right here. We're going to actually turn that valley line, that valley fold into a mountain fold. We're going to take where this where this fold is, we're going to leave that there, and we're going to press down, and suddenly we're going to have a triangle here. So we go from having a square, and we lift up the paper on that one side and press down so that this comes into the middle, and now we have a triangle. You're almost there. Pull it out further. Pull it, the corner that you're holding needs to go out further. It should be here towards the middle.
Okay.
And that's, this point right here will be right in the middle of the paper. I'm glad that Lynn was struggling a little bit with it because it helped me to kind of see something. I'm going to just kind of show you right here is the middle, and you'll see that you have two mountain folds right here and right here. So there's the middle of the paper, and so it should go into there. Let's see what you got it. Exactly. So we're going to do that 3 more times. You can continue working on that. I'm going to continue explaining as I do it here. So we have this, we pull that back out, and you see the square. And on this line right here, we're going to pull this corner up, and we're not creating any new folds. We're going to press it out and then squash. And now we have another triangle. We're not making any new folds. We're just folding things differently. And so now you can see we've kind of formed another square here. Sometimes it's like magic. You're like, how did I do that? It's kind of cool that way. So again, we have the square. We have a square right here. We're going to pull this up and push it over. No new folds. Of course, this one wants to be a little difficult, and that's okay. Just take your time. This paper is very resilient. And as we've learned as we've gone along, if it's not 100% perfect, it's okay. I've never seen an animal that looked 100% perfect either, so just like humans. So here we go. We have our last square here. There's this line. We keep that down and pull up and press down. Well done. Really nice job. So now it should look like this. So you kind of have, we've got lots of triangles. There's 2 triangles here, 2 triangles here, and then 2 triangles here. Okay, so we're going to take this whole thing and turn it over. And again, we're going to fold 4 times. Easier fold this time, but there's just kind of an odd little bit. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Don't fuss about it. It's just there, and it won't cause you any problems. What we're going to do is we're going to take, we have this sort of point out here. We're going to take this edge, and we're going to fold it right into the center. We still have this center line right here. So we're going to take this edge and fold it in, kind of like we're doing a kite fold. We still want to keep that nice point. And then what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to go, I will end up going across from it, but for right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do over here on this side. And what you're going to notice, the odd thing about it, when I take this edge and fold it into the center crease, is they're going to cross over each other there. And that's okay. It's supposed to do that. It's a little bit weird, but it's okay. So it'll look like that. And then just cross over and you push them down. And then we're going to do the exact same thing on the other side, because as I said to begin with, four times, every time, 4 times. So we're going to take this edge and put it into the middle. It'll just match. And then we're going to take this edge and again put it into the middle. 4 times. So now it looks like this. And you can see how I've got this kind of over this little bit, and I've got this over this little bit, and it's a little bit odd looking, and it's what it's supposed to be. So you've done really well. If yours looks a little bit odd. And I hope you can see it with all the colors we have there, but that's what it should look like right now. It's sort of like you have, like a kid drew a square and they didn't do a really good job kind of in the center. That's what it looks like.
Okay.
So, talking about faith, and I'll let you finish while I ask this. You've been married for 56 years. That's tremendous. That's just wonderful. I mean, I'm going to be married in just over a month now, and you know, I'm starting at ground zero.
Yes.
So I think it probably takes a lot of trust and a lot of faith to be married that long and go through the things you've had to go through. And I'm just curious if you could share a lesson or two that you've learned as your faith has been tested over the years.
We had moved to Colorado Springs, and the day before we moved, the realtor called and said, "We can't close on the house, but the owner says come anyway and move in. This will all be taken care of soon." 9 months went by. We did not close. He didn't charge us rent.
Wow.
And we got a call, and the other person who had part ownership of the house said, "You need either to pay or leave." We were leaving on vacation in about 5 days. At church that Sunday, I told the congregation what was happening and asked that they would pray for us, that we could find something. Within 4 days, we found a house, had an inspection, and put down money for a down payment and said, "We'll be back in a month to move." And that's something that would have been could have been horrendous. But we had both learned through 20 years that God is faithful, whatever our situation.
That's tremendous. I mean, in both ways. First, I mean, not having to pay anything while you waited, they said it's okay. And that allowed you to build up some money reserves. So when the other one came around, it was just, what a wonderful story of faith and having it work out.
We were ready, but
Right.
It was scary.
Oftentimes faith is.
Yes.
Yeah, oftentimes we just go into the unknown. That's tremendous. Thank you. We're going to take this now and we're going to just turn it over again. And what you're seeing right here, these are going to end up being the feet.
Okay.
So we have to do a little folding here. And as I've said all along, just about every single week, origami is either very precise or just kind of take a stab at it. And this is a kind of take a stab at it, but there are guidelines to help you here. So I'm going to start over here with this foot. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it down, but I'm going to fold it slightly over the middle line. So I'm folding it from right here, right on the edge here, and I'm not going to fold it straighter out this way. It's going to actually fold over the middle line a little bit, and I think you can see that at home. It's not going straight along here, it's coming out. And then we're going to fold this other one over it. So you can, with the colors there, you can see how they go over each other. And if they're not perfectly the exact same angle, that'll be okay. And we're gonna do the same thing on the other side here. Again, 4 times. And we're gonna fold this here. And we're going to fold this here. That kind of looks to me like he's praying or crossing his arms. So, and it doesn't matter which one's on top of the other one. Got it? All right, so then we're going to take the whole thing from there and we're going to fold it in half. That was 3 pretty easy folds. If we were to turn him this way, you can see the beginnings of him looking kind of like a chameleon. And at this point, he'll stand up. Maybe fold your, make this fold a little crisper, kind of really push that, yeah. And then he'll still, there you go. Use the nails. I think it was J.T. Stansbury who did his nails and did a really good job. There you go.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Okay, this one should be a little easier. I know. I've hit you with some doozies. And I thank you for sharing what you did because you just really shared some great things. Can you share with us one of your favorite Bible verses?
There are so many, but I guess one of them would have to be John 14:6. I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man comes to the Father except by me.
And that's the truth.
That is.
Absolutely.
There are other places where it says the same thing, but I like the way
It's stated
it's
in
said
that one.
there.
Nice. Do you have, is there like a, we use the NRSV here, I've used the NIV. Is there a certain edition that you enjoy more than another, or?
I've used the NIV a lot. I'm now using the ESV because that's what Community Bible Study uses.
Okay, and that's the English Standard Version. NIV is New International.
Right, and I really like it when I'm reading the ESV and pastor or someone else is reading from a different one, and sometimes I get a different take on a word here and there. And so I've been adding those in my Bible.
Okay, that's probably a healthy thing to do. I, complete opposite. If, especially like at church, I have to use the same version that's being used because I cannot stand to be looking at different words as they're being read. It just, I find myself trying to keep up and figure out where I am. But I do enjoy listening or reading different versions. And you can really get a lot from taking one verse and reading it in several different versions.
Well, and sometimes I kind of get lost because it's worded differently, but it says the same thing.
Right. At this point, if you have pre-colored your paper, you have a decision to make because right now, front is back and back is front. It's the same all along. So you kind of need to decide where you want to have your head. And I think I'm going to have my head here along this row. Kind of got green on one side and blue on the other. It's kind of eeny, meeny, miny, mo, isn't it? I know. So what I'm going to do is, the next thing we're going to do is an inside reverse fold. So that's when we fold it in on ourselves. So we're going to make the head. And in order to do that, and I will go ahead and use this, excuse me, we are going to make a fold that kind of comes out just a little bit of an angle. I'm just going to show you where I'm going to fold it. And I'm going to show you kind of how it goes. So if you've got it sitting flat, it goes out. If you look here, see how it doesn't go straight up, it goes out. And I just use that as a guideline. You can fold, you can draw that line if you want to, but you don't have to. I'm going to fold back on that line I created. And I'm going to go ahead and fold again on this side just to crease it. That's all I'm doing, is just to make that crease. Okay. So then, excuse me, when I open it up, I can see those two crease lines right there that I just made. There's 1 and 2. And what I'm going to do with those is I'm going to push this in on those lines. Hopefully I did this right. And I did. Now, there's a little blunt nose right here, and that's going to be the chameleon's face. So it just kind of folds in on itself, like this, and you just push it in and it folds in on itself. You notice it's not going to be even with these edges here. It's going to go a little deeper than that.
Okay.
It can be a little tricky.
Yeah.
We're going to end up drawing eyes here. That's what we're going to end up doing. Okay, good. And don't worry about it standing up at this point, because again, we've got these wonderful sticks here that we'll go ahead and do that. Okay, excuse me. Now we're going to outside reverse fold the other side, and we're going to make a tail. So on an inside reverse fold, the paper folds into itself. On an outside, it folds outside of itself. And so again, this is going to be at an angle, and that angle is actually going to start, here's the bottom of the thing, it's going to start here, and we're going to go out kind of along this line here. We're going to make a fold, and I'm going to show that to you. I'm going to put it over here so you can see kind of where it goes. So right here, again, I'm going to fold, and I'm going to go back the other way and fold. I'm not going to worry about those feet right now. Okay. Now, to make an outside reverse fold, again, when you open it up, you're going to see the creases you just made right here, right here. Okay. So this time, rather than folding in, you're going to press those out. And they'll just, if you notice, watch as I do this, as I press and I get those two lines that I just made, those two creases together, this is going to, it's supposed to, there we go, come down like that. So right now, you've got your head and your tail is hanging down. And if you're struggling with it, don't worry, I can give you a little help with that. I'll help you finish that off. So, and then what we're going to do is we're going to make one more outside reverse fold here on the bottom. We're just going to make a little pinch here, and again, I'm going to fold it both ways. And we're going to fold it out. So it will curl in. And you know what? If yours ends up curling out instead of in, that's okay. It's totally okay if you do. This will be your finished chameleon. And how are you doing there? Having a bit of a struggle on that one?
Well,
it's a little bit difficult to see, and you're working side by side with me. So I will help you to get that together. How's that sound? Okay?
Good.
Alrighty. Well, we made it through any difficulties we had, and
you did. Thank you.
You did very well, actually. You were just about there, and so we've taken our chameleons, and I'm going to go ahead and can I borrow yours there? So you can see here we've got our two chameleons on their sticks, and they're just happy in their natural habitat. But they were a lot of fun to make, and it was fun to work with you. So I hope that you have fun making your chameleons. I know there were a couple tricky spots there. Feel free to contact me if you have questions. I can help you out. And thank you for joining me.
Thank you. It was fun.
Yeah, it's always fun to just work with you and spend some time with you, and you bring me berries. She's like the berry queen. They're amazing. So I'm going to enjoy those a lot.
Good.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.